Good morning, students. So let's today begin with a exciting day and with the current events, and because in the UPSC all they ask is mostly the current issues, and so let me first show you one of the good slides here. As you are aware that Unacademy is the India's largest and best online platform, and now we have these structured batches with top educators, batches in English, Hindi and bilingual, and late night, as well as 2-year batches and 100% syllabus coverage, vast range of optionals, prelims test series, mains test series, dedicated doubt clearing classes, daily current affairs, essay and answer writing practice, performance analysis, sectional quizzes, interview preparation. Essay writing is very important. The power of expression in IAS is very important. We have this live class environment and live polls, leaderboard, live doubt solving, live interaction. So you can see that. And then we have this personal coach, live environment, class environment, live polls and leaderboard, live doubt solving and live interaction. And then you can get subscription now. Apply this code VCS 10 now. If you apply, you can get a heavy discount of 10%. See this VCS code you can put, and so the rates are so reasonable, for so therefore for example for 36 months, and if you take a long package, the student should start preparing for IAS and civil services at least 1 or 2 years prior to their actual taking the exam. So now let's go to the some of the slides. Let's start with today's. Now, as you are aware that now this wildlife and climate change is so important to our planet Earth, and already the temperatures are rising, and the ocean level is rising. Arctic glaciers are melting and temperatures are rising, and we have to all these beautiful, wonderful animals. So this Wildlife Department of Rajasthan is waiting for the approval of National Tiger Conservation Authority to shift one lone tigress MT4 of Mukandra Hills Tiger Reserve from a 28-hectare soft enclosure to 80 square kilometer hard enclosure. So this is so important, and we have to. So if you come to Rajasthan, you have this Sariska Tiger Reserve Sanctuary and Ranthambore, and so we have to preserve this. This is a very important issue, and so let's go to the important item. In the Hindu these days, if you see the Hindu paper today, and so there is an issue. Say no to corporate houses, Indian making. Let me go to some this slide also. We have, this is a major issue right now. Say no to corporate houses, Indian backing. Now you see how important this is. Now this is Mr. Professor T.T. Ram Mohan is professor at IIM Ahmedabad, where after IIT, even I have studied in IIM Ahmedabad, and there are wonderful professors now, and there were wonderful professors then. In our times, Professor C. Rangarajan was the professor of economics at IIM Ahmedabad. And so this banking sector, it needs reform, but the recommendation of the corporate owned banks is neither big bank nor risk free. Now there is the internal working group of the Reserve Bank of India has recommended that the corporate houses be given bank license. Now there are two ways of looking at it. Another article in today's paper, it supports this, that it will, but we have to see that some of these big people, like let's say Vijay Mallya, we lost about 15,000 crores of loans there, and he has gone out of India. Then we have Nirav Modi and Sahara Shri, Mr. Subrata Roy. He is holding to 60,000 crores of poor people's money. So suppose now if Reliance or Adani or some big corporate houses, they have their own banks, and so the question is whether if they have their own banks, then will they be able to evaluate their projects, or for which they will come for lending in a ideal way, in a rational way. Or what if Mukesh Ambani ji rings up the MD of Reliance Bank, and so this autonomy of the banks is very important, and therefore of course there are some positive points also, but we have to see that doesn't in future doesn't lock up poor people's money or the government money. So this is a very important thing. And now if you go to some, let's say this previous slide, now this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, this is a good, Mr. Rajiv Bhalla has written an article that although we have our rivals also like China and Pakistan, but we can benefit a lot from these important Central Asian republics. We have this Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, and so we have no conflicts with them, and we had historical ties with them, and therefore we can our so much of industries. Recently the government has given this PLI scheme, and the largest corporate tax cut in history, so they can be a good market for us, and therefore this is a good article that how this, of course we should have good relations with, let's say, Pakistan and China, but Afghanistan and the central, they can be very crucial for expanding our exports to these areas. So this is a good news item. And now if we see the third one, the Biden administration, of course President Trump has given go ahead, and Biden will be taking over. There were some indications, this is a mature democracy, and so this is a good time for India to grab the opportunity, and we already have a strategic partnership with US. So therefore, why can't we have, let's say, a trade agreement immediately, or the trade agreement with EU, and revive the Trans-Pacific Partnership? So this is a good article, and so let's go to another one. This is the same as Biden presidency is there, and with the Kamala Harris, she is of Indian origin. Her mother, Shamla Gopalan, she went as a student to USA in 1960s, and then at the Stanford University. for her PhD programs, and then she married Professor Harris there, who was a black professor at economics faculty, Afro-American. And then two beautiful children, Kamala Harris and Maya Harris, were born. And now she used to come to Chennai to to be with her nana nanis, and she remembers the Chennai beach, and and so must be very much affectionate towards India. Now if you see this, now this is a question a lot of people argue that this is they may argue for or this UP ordinance undermines constitutional liberties and may not stand as a test of judicial scrutiny. So we have a very reputed court structure, and our Supreme Court is so good. So if there is any objection, they can always approach the court. But the question is that there have been if there had been only one or two cases in such a big country, it was okay. But large number of such cases are happening. And if the boy doesn't disclose his proper identity, and he doesn't disclose his religion, and then the girl gets impressed, and after marriage, and then he realizes, or just before the marriage is there, then he says, okay, I am so and so, I am not a Hindu. And then her whole world comes shattering down. Okay, even if suppose if the two people are from the different religions, you must have seen the film Bombay, and it was such an ideal marriage, two people from different religions, but these marriages are not ideal, and later on they exploit, and just and they may leave after so this is the law says that when you are meeting the girl, and if you hide your identity, that is bad. When there is nothing wrong with having love affair, but you hide your identity, so that is the crux of the issue. And since lot of cases have there, so this is and in India, if these cross interreligious marriages are themselves under lot of stress, you must be aware, the one IAS officer in Rajasthan, Tina Dabi, was the topper, IAS topper, and then she married number 2 topper from J&K, and they may just made in 2018, and there is marriage couldn't last. So a lot of but of course there was nothing of this kind here. But the main issue is that if you hide your this thing, so in my view, this UP ordinance or the act they will stand. If somebody approaches Supreme Court, this will stand the judicial scrutiny. So this is an important, all the papers are full of it, that why even the Madhya Pradesh government has announced that it will take table a bill to prosecute love jihad. And so love jihad is when the boy discloses doesn't disclose his identity, he poses as a Hindu boy, and then makes friend with the girl, and then they fall in love, and just before the marriage he tells them. And there have been so many cases where later on these girls were so many atrocities were done and even murdered. So we in India, we cannot allow such a situation to go out of hand. So all these MLAs and at the national level, this issue was there for some time, and now UP government has taken some initiative, because if the things we can't allow. So now let's go to a next topic, a breakthrough in banking reform. So there are the other view of this banking reforms. For example, earlier we saw this T.T. Ram Mohan. See, T.T. Ram Mohan, he's supporting these banking sector reforms to allow these corporate banks to own a banks, but this is a different view. And RBI must implement its internal report allowing industrial houses to own the banks with checks. And so this is another view. Jamay Sinha is a chairman of PWG, and therefore he is also very intelligent man. So there are both, So what the Modi government is thinking, I think they must be thinking about revitalizing the economy, and and therefore we have to see the both sides of the coin. So let me stop for a moment and bring you again to the Unacademy. And so these are Unacademy, these courses are so inexpensive, and for 36 months, if you are planning for 36 months, you save a lot more. And so kindly unlock the plus experience for free and start learning from the best. And if you use this code VCS10, you will get 10% discount. And then if you see this all India free mock test for civil services aspirants is there on 10th, 17th, 25th and 30th of every month. So, and exciting prizes are there. So kindly enroll now. And now if you see another slide, to T20 daily current affairs series. And so much of good faculty is there, and even we retired IAS officers are taking current affairs classes. And so this is for the YouTube also, and for Telegram. These are the so free learning platforms you have. And 6 months batch course for UPSC civil services and prelims is there starting 30th November. So this is mission 2021 is there, and then mission 23 is there. So you can plan. So let's go back to our slide, the current news. So now this is an important news now, this RBI, and let's see what the government does. I told you that this Janmay Sinha is chairman of BCG India, and therefore he used this as a breakthrough in the reforms. And so if you see certain promises of Biden presidency, for example, now this is a good article by Sumit Gangliji in the Times of India today. And the writer holds the Tagore Chair in the Indian Culture and Civilizations at Indiana University in USA. So now New Delhi should prepare for a new US administration that genuinely engages with India. Of course, President Trump was okay, and Modi ji had developed a personal rapport with him. He went to Texas, Dallas, and then we had this howdy Modi, and so many people came, and then Trump was invited to Ahmedabad, and such a large gathering President Trump must have never seen. But now nothing came out, in practice. When we had this China-India standoff, he did not categorically, come out in support of India as John F. Kennedy in 1962 came out. And so this is the time Biden is already, anti-China, and once in his speech he said that, about the President Xi, he was telling that there is not a single bone, democratic bone in the body of President Xi. So President Xi, everybody knows that these are Communist Party people are troubling and putting atrocities on Hong Kong people, and then they are bullying Taiwan and other these small nations in the South China Sea. So to bell the cat, this dragon, these four democracies of the world, top democracies, USA, India, Japan, and Australia, they have come in this chord 2+2, and so we will challenge them, and we will insist on a rule-based order in the Indo-Pacific. So therefore, this is a very good article there, and so this is also a and laws of freedom. Then again, this I told you, this love jihad is back, and Indian Express is also says that laws of freedom. This love jihad, BJP picks up baton from vigilante groups, and police and judicial apparatus have aided this move. So now the question is that there are both, the writer is a senior research fellow at CRE Sciences and professor of Indian politics and sociology at King's India Institute. Now the question is, there are both free, both sides of the coin you can see, but as a layman, I feel that, if you hide your identity, if you are a true person, why hide the identity? If you are a genuine person, why hide your identity? Why hide your name? This thing. So if your name is Nurul Hassan, and if you say my name is Ram Kishan, and then you how this thing, how fraudulent, and then you make your identity, and then you sometimes you wear Hindu malas, and to be to impress girls that you are a true Hindu, and so and then you at the time of marriage, just one before. So I am of the view that whatever the government does, because we cannot allow so much of anarchy. If any religion, even Christians, Sikhs, they marry outside their caste, but then they should be a lifetime marriage, not just 1 or 2 months of marriage. So let's see if other if there is inter-religious marriages are there, and they are a lifetime, and they are dedicated to each other like a perfect couple, then of course our governments, the state governments, will remove these ordinances. But it doesn't happen. You have to see the facts of the case, and so again, this is a top, and there can be of course on the love jihad, it is so difficult that an IAS question will be there, because it is a sensitive matter. But the constitutional, the constitution and all these issues can come, and therefore to sum up, let's see. Now I was just a general knowledge, a general for the currencies. I was seeing this. So for all the students should know, let's say if you have which is the best currency in the world. For example, if you have daily, if you compare all the daily trades in the world, buying and selling of foreign currency. So let's say buying is 100% and selling is 100%. So out of 200% buying and selling, the US dollar is the most used currency in the world. 88% it's used. Then euro is there, Japanese yen, pound sterling, Australian dollars, and then Canadian dollars, Swiss francs, Then Chinese renminbi is just 4.3%. And then Hong Kong dollar and New Zealand dollar, Swedish kroner, South Korean won, and Singapore dollar, and then Norwegian kroner, Mexico peso, and then see Indian rupee has also come. So the lot of India is the third largest economy on purchasing power parity. So let me see if we have covered all the slides. This is the banking reform that is very important. Whether there can be a question whether the corporate houses should be allowed to own banks as well. So this is a good even for the people who are taking economics as a main subject. And then with this love jihad, I already told you that if you hide your identity, if you hide your name, if you hide your religion, and then you of course you marry, and you should have a lifetime dedication, and your marriage should be a perfect example, but that is not the case. Then you immediately one day before you tell and then you put atrocities on the girl, and then you convert her, and then even if you convert her, keep her happy, it should be lifelong marriage. And then this Biden presidency, we have total we have now a lifetime opportunity to have this US India free trade agreement. And this is again love jihad and a long winter for the economy. This is a very good article. Public sector investments are likely to be depressed on states. So this economy has to be regenerated, and lot of this is a must question. How will you what strategy will you have to revitalize the Indian economy? This article is a good article. And Biden, again, I have this Shanghai Cooperation organization, everybody must know. So let's go to and so this is the Unacademy is the best and largest online platform for IAS UPSC exams, civil services exams. And therefore and let me show some more slides of this. And there can be a question on, there's another article by our honorable speaker Om Birla ji, and this is the Times of India. So speaker writes himself, bequeathed to us 71 years ago today, the Constitution is India's bedrock of stability and growth. So this is our Constitution is not just a legal document, but is an important instrument that protects the freedom of all sections of society and provides every citizen the right to equality. So this is a good and therefore a story of the birth of Japji Sahab. Now this is another article, as you know, Osho International Foundation. If you are of the religious type, you must hear this. And as you are aware that when you make preparation for the IAS, you have to do some minor exercises also and yoga to keep you fit. And so some meditation is 5 minutes of meditation is a must if you have to crack this examination, because you have to just be carefree and not under stress. So how to reduce stress? If you just have some meditation, few minutes of yoga and 10-15 minutes of in the gym or treadmill or 15 minutes walk. So this is a good time, and therefore you have to study for long hours, because so many people appear in IAS, and so you have to be within IAS. For example, when we achieved the in IAS first time we gave, and we missed IAS by 1 mark only. So imagine 1 mark can make a difference between IAS and IPS. So we got IPS, and then again so let's say if you are selected, only 125 IAS officers are selected and 30-40 foreign service. and about 100 IPS and about 100 income tax. And of course there is some reservations for certain sections of the society. So let's say if that 50% reservation there is there, so just these top services you just have 300 400 places. Another news that we have is in Nepal, the test for Foreign Secretary Shringla. Foreign Secretary, Harshvardhan Shringla is an old Nepal connection. So he has gone to, he's going to such, he is from the foreign service, and he's taking too many trips to keep our foreign relations on track. So such a good job opportunities we have. And so now we have this UPSC complete batch preparation is there, and live class environment, and doubt solving and interaction, and personal coach, and live interaction. And for the massive 10% discount, use now code. You can use my code VCS10. So now so as I told you initially, that we have to every day you have to take one or two papers, Hindu or Times of India or Indian Express or Hindustan Times. If you are from a Hindi medium, this thing, of course Hindu may not be available, so you can choose, but the other papers are there. So now it is bad for the English medium students. Hindu and Times of India are a must. So you must keep a register, and so therefore if you keep a register and keep these clippings of this top, so that you must have all these articles have some data. For example, if you write an essay in IAS without any data, without any data substantiating your claims, then your marks can't be 20 out of 20. But suppose you have data, solid data, and to support your this thing, of course you will be successful. So let me close it now. So for the rest of the day, have a good day, and so thank you very much.